semi-finals and the final.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
all on one game now.
Yeah, and that game is going to be one hell of a toss-up because I think we've seen both the strengths and weaknesses of both these teams in the best of 1 and the best of 3 series so far. And it is a very interesting clash. I think I'm favoring TNC a little bit more just because of their performance. If they get themselves a draft that maybe leads them a little bit more even. But then again, the first game was definitely a big draft advantage for TNC as well. So maybe it's just all come down to the draft here in this series, in this final game.
What do you think, Jack?
Yeah, who's going to budge? Who's going to continue to change? I wonder if TNC even just considers saying, let's just ban those 3 offlaners out of Yang entirely and make him play something else. Although there's like Brewmaster and something else that he could run. But yeah, like you said, stakes are high for VG.J. Again, a chance to really prove themselves finally on this international stage with this team in a big major tournament as well. And well, for names and reputations, I'll get into that more later. But some of these guys have quite a bit on the line as well.
Oh, see, I wanted to ask you actually about Fade when we were opening this series. I forgot about it. Like, what is Fade like? Because I couldn't find any information on him, really. I don't even know his age, but he looks very young. I couldn't find that on the wiki.
Yeah, I don't think there are too many memes about him either, but he came up with IO on VGP, so they came up kind of through the VG system. They both got a chance to play on the main team. They had a bit of an issue that they didn't really talk that much. Fade does coordinate a lot for kills, but in terms of setting up the cores for success out of the laning phase, they didn't really coordinate that much. And so at some point about a month or two ago, ROTK told these guys, it's like, I'm gonna give you some time. Someone needs to start making predictions or being able to set up the lanes in the game because he can't direct in game. And so if that doesn't happen, they'll look for a change. And at first, they wanted to acquire Yao, but LGD didn't want to let Yao go this season. And so ended up being DDC in the midst of the reshuffle that ended up coming over to VG.J.
Okay, fair enough. I think, so it has, like, DDC hasn't been vocal enough as well? Because I just assumed that if Fade is going to be more quiet, then DDC would be taking over in that regard and providing the strategic outlook on what the support should be doing. A
bit more. He's just more steady. He's obviously more experienced. And so when it comes to protecting cores, he has a better idea of what he's doing, even if he's not the most vocal player himself. Fade is a great roamer, though. He's the guy that'll get kills. He's the Earth Spirit player. He coordinates a lot with Yang to kind of set up these kills. But beyond that, the communication has been a bit of an issue for this team. And also, even Sylar before. It's a lot of these veteran players in Chinese teams, it's harder for them to get along with the newer guys. So if you have Sylar with newer supports, it's a bit hard for them to coordinate.
I understand that because I feel like the 3 and 4 position do need to have their own voice in the game because they're the ones most often setting things up for the team. So that definitely makes sense. And that would, if they could solve that issue, it would lead to VG.J Thunder having better laning phase situations for them.
Same bans for Game 3 so far, although there's a Disruptor ban for TNC.
Yeah,
they've picked it both games as well, so that's interesting.
It's very likely a deny pick. If you look at the 2 DDC heroes that he's probably played the best, at least in recent stretch, it has been Disruptor and Rubik.
And Witch Doctor as well.
And they had this opportunity where they had Disruptor and Batrider against a Tidehunter, where arguably they have this combination to be able to stop the effect of Tidehunter, who just kind of man modes into you. You have this guaranteed silence against him, but so often the damage was actually a huge issue for them. So I don't necessarily think that the Disruptor was the problem in that situation. They're not going to leave out the puck here, and TNC, they're not going to pick it up apparently.
Wow.
Insta pick Omni instead.
Okay. And they banned the Omni, don't forget, in both games.
Yeah.
So that's why they changed to the Disruptor.
So this is them
could be
actually,
a part block.
This is them actually switching up the offlane identity a little bit. I think Sam Mage hasn't played this in a while. It takes it away from Yang as well. Yeah, like you mentioned last game, Cap, with the damage, again, like it made it very easy to itemize against if you're going all magic damage. So you have the pipe, obviously, in the Tide and the BKBs.
And I think we've seen both Evil Geniuses definitely did this, and I think maybe Liquid did something similar where they left out an Omni Knight and punished it with like hyper aggression. Evil Geniuses ran the Rubik Furion, which then they followed up with 3 super aggressive cores against an Omni Knight lineup, and Liquid, I believe, did something similar in one of their best-of-1 games. So VG.J Thunder do have an opportunity to switch roles here with TNC if they want to, and be the ones trying to set the tempo of this game.
Yeah, people are finding more answers to this Omni hero as well. I mean, besides like Rubik, which seems like a good pick here, you'll see like Viper run against. There's just a lot of answers.
So the last time Mage picked up an Omni was nearly a month ago. It was against Fnatic, and they lost heavily in 36 minutes. So our Spirit Witch Doctor on VG.J Thunder's side of things. Which way round would that be? Fade presumably on the Earth Spirit?
5 seconds
Yeah.
remaining.
But something interesting I noticed about TNC and their best of ones is they actually were opening. I'm not saying this is the reason they did it, but they are opening with a lot of heroes that the enemy team didn't actually play a whole lot. So Naga, they opened with against VG.J, which we now see banned out. They opened Earth Spirit against VP, who haven't played it since Roger joined the team. And Tusk against Navi. And Navi hasn't been doing
but on
a lot of that
this
either.
occasion, it's slightly different because Tim's most played over the last 3 months is Earth Spirit, and Cuckoo's main played over the last month is Witch Doctor.
I'm kind of feeling
So that's odd.
as a 3 position, you want a 4 position initiator. So I think eventually Sand King or maybe Earthshaker are decent pickups for TNC in that 4 position slot. But they're going to get their Gyrocopter.
Earlier, because it probably goes in phase 2.
It's probably going to be banned out here, especially since they already have the Omni Knight. Again, this is a switch for TNC because they've been opening with this support core duo, but they had always, with those openers, they'd always guaranteed themselves really good team fight. Even with their support opening previous in the series, Sand King Disruptor, I mean, you don't get much better team fight than that combination right there in support. So this core combination that they have is, again, one of those sort of unbeatable 20 minutes, a Gyrocopter's running at you with Repel and throwing down Rocket Barrage. Like, it's going to be really tough for VG.J to be able to contest that.
Do you expect a Sand King ban in this second phase then?
I would. I would expect a ban against the best 4 position initiators because I do feel like TNC want that. They have a Gyrocopter after all. They want to be aggressive, but they don't have, with an offlane Omni, they don't have a hero to force engagements.
TB taken off the table by TNC. Hasn't managed to make its way through any of the drafts with these two so far.
Or maybe the Puck, just because it is a mid initiator that TNC are quite gifted with.
10 seconds remaining.
That would be one of the other cores that I could think of.
TNC can also go more of this kind of raid boss route with the Gyro. Again, it's the flexibility that you're allowed from the Gyro. You can run this hero as a more active carry or as kind of the mainstay of your lineup. And so if they ban something like an OD here to maybe try to protect that Gyro pick, although it wouldn't be good into the Omni Knight either. So they have a couple bases covered with this first 2.
They do, and they've left the Puck out there, and TNC have taken away the Tide. Of course, the Tusk is gone. They removed Bane and SK. Obviously, they need an offlaner and 2 supports, so that's why they're focused on that. But Puck is still there. I wonder if VG.J Thunder want TNC to pick it.
I also wonder if they want the Underlord because TNC. I like that TNC banned away the Tidehunter. I feel like it's a bigger threat than the Underlord is to your team fighting aspect. Underlord doesn't give you that same kind of stopping power and intimidation. A little bit more focused on the sustain and split pushing aspect and dealing with the more ephemeral aspects of the game rather than the hard initiation, forcing fights sort of things.
TNC's turn to
Brewmaster instead, that's definitely a better team fighter for you. And they actually picked it in one of their best of 1 games when they needed to shore up their team fight against Team Secret. Because Team Secret play a pretty slow game, so VG.J Thunder, that was one of the times where VG.J Thunder actually tried to speed up their, tempo of the game.
Well, yeah, this hero is an issue in lanes. It's a tough hero to lane against, but also, again, the spell against the Omni Knight is also pretty important for them. I think the Tide ban from TNC kind of suggests that this is going to be a mid Gyrocopter. I mean, Armel's usually in like more of the hard farming role anyway, but by banning the Tide, they again not only just deny the pick, but open up more melee cores that they can run in their safe lane.
And one of the cool things that many teams have been doing is that they grab this Gyrocopter, but it's not necessarily safe lane. It can be run as a mid with maybe a support hero or something like that. So they can try and give Armel like some sort of 1v1 safe lane hero against the Brewmaster if they feel that's better.
Yeah, and you can tri-lane as well. I mean, the
Yeah.
Gyro just goes out everywhere in every situation. And if they really wanted to, I mean, technically Omni has some flexibility as well. You can potentially run them as a support, though teams usually move away from doing that.
There is going to be the Earthshaker,
good call.
which is an important lockdown hero against Brewmaster. You want to be able to, because you can't get like Bat Rider against Brew here, you already have the Omni. You want a different hero to be able to establish, we're jumping, and we're killing, and we're winning this team fight. We're making it a 4 versus 5 before they can actually respond. And Brewmaster is probably one of the most potent heroes where he does everything for you in a team fight. If he is the one setting up, if he gets off his ultimate, he controls a hero with Cyclone, but he just as well can easily be bursted down.
A Luna.
Yeah, you have a lot of reach as well with the Earthshaker, both for the Witch Doctor. Earth Spirit kind of feels bad going in. Close quarters usually not going to be able to get away with an Earthshaker there as well.
And you know what, the funny part of this Luna pickup is that some of the best counters were actually banned by TNC. The Terrorblade destroys Luna, and then Tidehunter functions really well, both against the magic damage and limiting the physical damage of the Luna as well.
This hero is considered a pretty good laner against Omni Knight. So any number of heroes in lane, you're not afraid of the tri-lane all of a sudden, or you're a little bit less afraid of it. They can certainly go toe-to-toe with that.
Last played Luna nearly a month back in the DAC qualifiers where they beat LFY with it, and they also played against EG at Galaxy Battles and won with it there as well.
So there weren't too many 5 positions left. It was either Bane or Rubik, and while Bane does give you some better opportunities for control.
It's back.
10 seconds
Yeah.
remaining.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Well, I guess I pretty much just left Rubik. So you're playing
Yeah.
Rubik against your Spirit, nothing you could really steal there, but it's still decent controlling hero for you.
I was going to
Could
ask you
steal
about
Eclipse.
that, because they didn't take that in the first two against an Omni, which we've seen a lot of. It's obviously the better version of the Omni when you can steal the right things, but they decided to go against that, and they've got one of the best Rubik players on earth.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder what it is about the Witch Doctor that they feel is so much better against the Omni opening than Rubik. Because Rubik or Spirit is great duo as well.
Yeah.
The Tinker ban, and so I think they're still considering, might still be considering Medusa here, Our Thunder.
Okay, final picks. Where does TNC go here? And Gyro can be played by either of their carry or mid.
I feel Lifestealer or Jugger
Could do
are
an
likely
SF.
pickups here.
I think
No,
the
no,
single
good
target
call.
focus
Yeah.
of SF is quite strong versus the Luna. And it still gives you that, that team fighting power with the magic damage he gives early.
Yeah. So we'll see Raven on the Gyro now.
Also applies a lot of pressure there to mid, especially if they're looking to have those strong lanes that you free the Earth Spirit, you make the Earth Spirit less able to come into that mid lane, less profitable again to roam in general.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I liked Earthshaker so much is that he's a great counter to the Earth Spirit's aggression. He's a more passive hero. I used to call him do nothing, but I think that's a bad phrase. It implies he's a bad hero, but rather he's just more passive and
Yes.
reactive in that
Yeah, that's
regard.
not what you're
Doesn't
saying.
set up kills as well
Indeed.
for you.
All right, and Freeze will take the Matumba man. I'm sorry, the Viper. It's become ubiquitous now, I think, with his name. Cap.
Oh dear, I can't think of the lineup.
Interesting draft.
Viper, Brewmaster. What's their safe lane core? What's their
Luna.
carry on the side?
Yeah,
oh, that's
Luna.
right, the Luna.
Yeah.
It's almost like a shift in identity this game, almost. It's like Thunder wants to
Slightly
be able
odd.
to...
Yeah, slightly off their normal road.
All right, well, last game actually settles it for me. The fact that VG.J Thunder need to be able to play, I would say, a relatively clean game. They need to be able to win these team fights, take important Roshan timings, as well as get good high grounds. I think they kind of failed those timings in game 2. So I think this time around, their draft is not nearly as forgiving to those kind of mistakes. So I'll go TNC.
Okay.
I'll,
So you're going to go TNC. Let me think.
I think I know where Jack's
Let me
going.
think what Jack might do from VG.
Shocking pick here, but I'm going to reach back into my jersey shed here for.
Okay.
Tell me, Jack, are those jerseys for sale anywhere?
Unbelievable. Thank you very much, gents. As you probably worked out, production knew what he was going to pick before he even picked up the shirt. It is 1 apiece right now between these two teams, and it's 1 apiece as far as the analysts are concerned as we head into game number 3. Mort and Brax are your commentary team. Hold on to your seats. This could be bumpy.
All right, thanks, boys. We are here with game number 3, our first best-of-3 series coming to a close with this 3rd game. And Brax, with how you were discussing the drafts before we came on, it sounds like you are heavily favoring VG.J Thunder in this particular matchup.
Yeah, I like their draft. They've got some sweet cosmetics on their heroes. Should be good.
The cosmetics are an important part of the game for them as we get into it. But the Viper, the Green Man, comes out for the 5th pick for VG.J Thunder. Quite good against the Omni Knight when paired up against him. Just in general, it seems like they have a very strong draft, though.
Yeah, I'm just a big fan of how they can play these lanes out. You have the Viper up against Shadow Fiend, pretty good kill pressure there. It's pretty strong Luna lane against Omni Knight. And I feel like the Rubik and Earthshaker don't really complement what Omni wants to do in the lane phase. Right? He is typically this very dominant hero who can apply a lot of pressure, but Earthshaker Fissure's great, but then it's basically an extension of what Omni can do, right? It sets up like a heal bomb, but that's usually not enough. And then Rubik also a low damage hero, but Rubik is super good at ganking for Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
It sets up those raises very nicely.
The double raise coming out for the Shadow Fiend might be able to help him enough in order to survive this mid lane and have a good start.
Yep.
There is a Brewmaster for VG.J Thunder. The combination up against, rather the ultimate against the GA of the Omni Knight was something we've also discussed at the beginning of the game.
Right, he can Dispel with the Storm Panda to remove Guardian Angel from an AoE. It's very nice against the Omni. And I just like how Brewmaster and Luna scale through the game against Gyro. Gyro hits this pretty strong early game with the call down, but when he's fighting into Split and Eclipse, probably not going to go in his favor.
No, yeah.
It's pretty difficult to fight him, too.
Yang should be fine then in that regard. Maybe he has some trouble in the early stages of the game. It feels like a Yang hero for the Brewmaster, and he will head bottom. He'll be up against 2. They'll drop a ward or 2 for this bottom lane. In the meantime, Freeze and Fade are going to be running mid. They have a good block already coming on, and this is going to be maybe a little bit tough for the Shadow Fiend at the start of this game.
Yeah.
Freeze
Especially
is going to hit him.
block.
Yeah, that block actually is huge. And they're going to roll in. They will miss on that roll, but Armel will get pushed back. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get too many last hits at the beginning of this game. And then as Freeze gets more levels, it's going to get harder.
Yep, he's always going to have to worry about the potential Earth Spirit rolling in. You know, unless he has Shaker nearby to stop the aggression, they can just bully him.
Yeah, so laning phase-wise, VG.J Thunder should have a pretty good time because of this Viper. They have the dual lane top, where they really don't need anybody else. They can just continue to sort of zone out Samage by Lucent beaming him and DDC running at him. So you kind of have to hope for TNC that if they want to get to a good start, they need to really get some pressure onto Yang. But it seems like he's having a pretty good time himself in this bottom lane.
Yeah, doing very well. Rubik, not the strongest laner, right? While the lift is very nice into the Rocket Barrage, it's not that much damage early on.
And Raven went for the Flight Cannon level 1 too.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're trying to get the kills on Yang.
Yep, probably just looking to push the lane in and then potentially go for a side pull.
Another roll was blocked by Tim's in the mid lane as Armel was trying to get caught out by Freeze. Fisher blocked there, but I don't really think they have the damage to kill him. In fact, Armel, if he walks up too far, he might just die.
In from
they have Cuckoo here, though. This could be a big kill. Freeze, raised 1. There's the Boulder Smash coming in. Telekinesis back under the tower. This is going to be maybe a kill. The Fairy Fire comes out, but it will not keep him alive. That's first blood for TNC with Armel now getting some room to work with.
Very well played from TNC. That's something you don't expect, right? The casual Fissure block, you think, oh, there's no damage. Shadow Fiend's sitting at like 180 health, but then they TP in from the fog.
And this is where Earthshaker really shines.
Yes,
it's such a narrow area in the mid lane for them to work with that. If you get off a decent block, it could turn into a kill, especially with the rotation from Cuckoo. It's a level 1 Rubik. Liv comes out, and he actually doesn't find the bounty rune. I think Fade got it at the end of it. That was pretty funny.
That looked really weird, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked a little silly for sure. Sam H getting dope at the top lane. He's going to go for the TP. This is going to be close, actually. I mean, he might not make it in time. It looks like one more auto attack would have done it, but he does get back to the base, and Sam H will survive. He does have to walk back to lane now, though.
Yeah, but the lane gets pretty difficult for him. Armel has a DD, so it's a lot of damage that Fade's going to take, but he's fine.
And they had the Fissure block there ready again. So this Earthshaker just might continue to sit mid for a while.
Oh yeah, he's not leaving. He knows that if Earth Spirit happens to overstep a little bit, overextend, Fissure into some raises, and he's a very easy kill.
Can Earth Spirit rotate top to try to find something, or does he just sit mid too?
He can, but it's nowhere near as easy.
Yeah.
Like you have this specific window where you're pretty unlikely to die to the first 3 raises, like levels 1 and 2. Then after that, well, if there's a Fissure, an Earth Shaker, or Earth Spirit's melee range of the Shadow Fiend, he could very easily die.
Rolling Boulder top lane, they rotate in.
There's
They have
the Repel.
the Repel on him, though. It's a lot of auto attack damage being done. Level 1 Purification, Boulder Smash will hit. There's the Fissure coming in onto Fade. The Maledict coming through the Lucent Beam. They would like to secure this. He's getting lower and lower. No more Repel for 18 seconds. He does use the stick, but I think he should fall as the Lucent Beam hits up from Sylar. That's a big kill for VG Gaming's Thunder in that top lane.
Yeah, it was an excellent rotation. They had a massive creep wave leading up to that, too. That's Yang. He TP'd out of the first death, or potential death, right? And then now he's got to walk all the way back up there. He's going to lose out on all that lane pressure.
By the way, with Cuckoo rotating at the beginning of the game, they've pretty much given Brewmaster a free lane, 1v1 against the Gyro Copter, and Brewmaster is having an absolutely fantastic time, Rex.
Oh, yeah, he's having a very nice time.
19 and 15 to 9 and 2. One of the worst starts we've seen the Gyro Copter have in this tournament, at least in terms of the CS department. He hasn't died or anything, but he's not getting any farm, certainly.
Yep, with Cuckoo leaving just for that tiny bit of time. Even if he stood there, I'm not convinced that he could do very much more to prevent what Brewmaster has done in this lane, just because of the nature of the hero. Just doesn't offer a whole lot of damage. And while Gyrocopter does do a lot of damage, as long as you're pushing with the wave, you're not going to take too much damage from the Rocket Barrage anyways, so
yeah,
he's fine.
This Brewmaster's having a great old time. Top 3 CS for VG.J Thunder, 1K lead. And they are having a good time with the Viper in the mid lane, 23 and 10. Just ahead of the Shadow Fiend, the early Fissure and the kill actually, I think, makes a big difference for the SF. This could be a lot worse for TNC, actually.
Exactly. That's more breathing room for him to get souls in a pretty rough matchup up against the Viper. But let's look at the difference between the off lanes for both teams. Look at Yang, level 5, out-leveling the enemy carry. And then we have Mage, level 3.
Yeah.
Not out-leveling the enemy carry.
He's going to have 6 soon. He can start roaming around with the Brewmaster ult if he wanted to.
Exactly, right. He can just sit here, and Gyrocopter's always got to be afraid of any rotation coming in.
I mean, with another hero, Yang could maybe die Raven at level 6.
Yeah.
Like, he could just split, go under tower, throw a hurl
very
boulder,
easily, right?
And just an extra hero would be enough to secure the kill. The mid lane, though, they had the Fissure coming out onto Freeze, but he's fine. He's going to get more tanky as the game progresses. He's up to level 2 Corrosive Skin. He even has the raindrops already for the Viper with no boots yet. So good luck killing him. There's the telekinesis out of the Brewmaster. They have the Rocket Barrage not doing that much damage. Yang's probably fine. They've rotated the Earth Spirit bottom so that when Yang does get 6, they can try to find a kill if they want to. Meanwhile, Mage top lane. He'll go for the TP.
Has to TP out again.
Yeah, this is just level 3 in this Omni Knight. This is a rough lane and a rough start for TNC overall.
So we have a complete free farm Luna, complete free farm Brewmaster, and Viper. I guess Armel is also doing quite well in the mid lane, considering the matchup.
Yeah, this should go way better for Freeze, but the early kill. I don't want to harp on it too much, but Armel's having a pretty good time. But Fade is setting up for a roll in on the high ground with near the ancient camp. But now down bottom, they're looking for the Brewmaster. The clap comes in. There's the homing missile, the Rocket Barrage, the cast coming out, the Fissure. One more auto attack. The stick charge from Yang keeps him alive under the tower, so close. And now Armel is getting dove. The Boulder Smash. They'll turn it around. VG.J Thunder will get 1 kill and keep their Brewmaster alive in that bottom lane.
It's funny to see like the movements from the supports, right? As soon as Shaker shows bottom, they know mid's a kill. You know what I mean? Like, Shaker can prevent that from happening and make it a bit dangerous, but as soon as that's gone, I mean, Armel is free money.
I mean, Fade was just sitting at this ancient stack here for the longest time and just rolls in and finds himself a kill. But they were setting up bottom. They have the Fissure coming in. They have Yang getting chased down by the homing missile, but really they can't find anything else. They're going through the trees with Cuckoo. He has the telekinesis in the Fade Bolt, but they really just want to try to pressure the tower, it looks like. Yang getting closer to 6. He's not quite there yet, but that's the dangerous point. Once he gets 6, he might want to back up from that tower for TNC.
The big difference in this game right now is that VG.J have this really strong offlane pressure to play off of, and up top, Omni Knight cannot solo the Luna at all.
Lucent Beam spams. He's got the Aquila now, the Rolling Boulder. Mage gets off the Repel, but he's just going to get pushed back to his tower. They are really zoning him out, and they are really giving this Luna an absolutely fantastic time top lane.
Yep, and even mid lane, Armel has to be careful of any potential rotation. So there's so much more pressure on TNC to stay alive and last through this lane phase, because Brewmaster phase boots with the ultimate, I mean, he can pretty much kill anyone. Smoke pop?
The smoke pops, they smoked on a ward anyways, and this is level 6. So TNC, good vision in order to avoid that. It gives them some room.
That is the thing TNC have, or are doing a better job of right now. They've gotten that early vision down. They know this Brewmaster's having a good game, so they ward up that area. But Armel, mid lane,
Viper
taking a bunch
strike
of
onto
damage.
Armel, the poison attack. There's the telekinesis, but Armel is getting lower and lower. He won't die. He has the fairy fire to keep him up. There's the split coming in. They'll only find Cuckoo out of this. They could have gotten more, but at least they will secure that kill.
Storm Panda's looking
The Storm
for a
Panda
side
is
fight.
diving. Fade is here. They're near the shrine. They get it off in time. The silence coming through. Fade's on level 4, but Sylar, he's already used the Eclipse. The Lucent Beam is up and ready to go. Armel's trying to juke and gyro through the tree line. I don't think he'll be able to get away. The Lucent Beam heading up. The Fade Bolt coming in will keep him alive
Gyro's
for only
TP'd
a moment
in, Mon.
longer. Here comes the Gyrocopter. Cuckoo
Oh, no.
is back to clap the rolling boulder. They cancel the Gyrocopter. He won't come down. Sylar gets a double kill, a dominating spree. Well played, says Freeze, as he finds Tim's as well. It's 3 dead. I believe a total of 4 at the end of that fight. They get 1,000 gold. Meanwhile, TNC lose 300.
God, with a lineup like, well, with the Gyrocopter in general, right? You expect to be able to take these early fights, but that's just not the case. He's looking at the fight, thinking about TP'ing in, starts channeling it, but he wouldn't win the fight anyways. There's no point.
He just doesn't want to give even more gold away to VG.J Thunder. And you're absolutely right, though. This seems like you have a Gyrocopter. You want to be aggressive, but you have supports that really can't do anything other than Fisher and Lift. It's not really able to get too much done in the beginning of the game. And so Freeze just runs in. They get Armel eventually. They could have gotten him killed earlier on, but the Lift was there right after that Fisher. And Luna even gets more farm with that kill. The Mask of Madness getting close to completion and actually...
And the collapse on this particular team fight from VG.J was excellent. Even though there's a shrine, they don't care. They know they've got their levels. They're super strong at this stage.
Armel can only really Fisher. That's all he can do at this point. Doesn't really affect him too much. Cuckoo dies again. A dominant performance for VG.J Thunder so far. They have a 3K lead. It is 7-1. And they're looking for more for this Luna. This is a fantastic start. They can continue to get him farm. They can start pushing down towers pretty soon as well if they want to.
Yeah. TNC are strong when they group up as 5, right? We're playing with Omni Knight, Earthshaker, you've got a lot of disables, and good damage from Shadow Fiend and Gyrocopter with the core combo, but you're so far behind at this stage of the game, right? They're going to get to these items extremely fast on the side of VG.J Thunder. They're smoked up, looking for the wraparound onto SamH's Omni Knight.
He's only level 5. The Rolling Boulder, the silence is there. They've got a Lucid Beam available. That will secure the kill for Sylar and make a kill spree as he takes more damage out of this Tier 1 tower.
VG.J Thunder can rotate to any lane to pressure and to get a kill like that, right? And then when you look at TNC's options of moves they can make, it's not the same. Rubik and Earthshaker gank this Viper. Well, if there's one more hero from VG.J Thunder, they could turn it, but we go smoke up with the Gyrocopter. This man does the damage.
If they run into this Viper, though, yeah, he's level 3 corrosive skin. They want to find something else, potentially. Luna might be nice. They will get the deny off on the tower for SamH, but it seems that VG.J Thunder, they're kind of grouping together. They've picked up the Mask of Madness.
They should have an idea, right? They see Tim's down bottom by himself. They know, oh, there's nobody here.
He has split, but he's not going to use it. Tim's will actually be able to get out. Yeah, can't go for the kill.
Yeah, that's like the big indicator that something is wrong here, right? That they're making some sort of movement when Earthshaker is solo farming the bottom lane in front of a Brewmaster.
And DDC has positioned himself nicely to just try to spot this out. They have the Lucent Beam under the Gyrocopter. They know he's top. They get up the Maledict, the cast, but there's going to be the telekinesis. Actually pushes DDC back. The Purification comes in onto Raven, but the only thing they're really doing is just pushing the wave in for Sylar. They're not able to get any real tower damage done. They can't find a kill.
Yep. And without being able to find a kill, they have to leave. You know, if they play around this area too long, it gives Yang just free time on the bottom lane to beat down on the tower. And if they dive to force something, then he can always just TP in. It's not an easy situation at all.
I guess the one good thing is that it kind of forced VG.J Thunder to stay top and not force down Armel or try to get the kill onto the mid Shadow Fiend, so he got some more room to work with. Yang might be in trouble in the bottom lane. He's trying to get the split off. He canceled it as the Fisher was about to come down. The call down is there. Yang, this is a big kill if they can find it, and they will. It's Cuckoo with a Fade Bolt that secures it. And that is something finally going the way of TNC.
Yeah, that was very well played. They managed to, they didn't use the fissure, too early, and they layered their stuns correctly. And he just didn't expect it since Cuckoo happened to TP in the tree line there and fought.
And that was a huge kill. You imagine if he gets the split off and he leaves, how much time you feel like you've wasted for TNC.
Right, and look at his gold too. He was also so close to the Blink Dagger.
And this Yang Brewmaster having a heck of a game, but he will go down. They'll push in the mid Tier 1 tower for VG.J Thunder. They're trying to fight this. Cuckoo might get dove by Sylar. He has the Eclipse up. It is only level 1. They also have level 4 Lucent Beam. This tower probably should fall. I don't think there's any way you can contest this for TNC. They still don't have their level 6 in the Omni Knight. SamH is still level 5. The Brewmaster is level 9. This is a problem for TNC.
Yep, without a good lane setup, Omni Knight kind of plays like a glorified support hero where you have to sit behind your core heroes and empower them instead of getting in their face, slowing them down, getting tanky. You know, it's funny that Gyro and Luna actually play the same way, in the sense where they're pretty strong in lane. They make these big rotations once they get their ultimates online. They're very similar. They peak at different places, though. I'd say Luna's a bit better than Gyro in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, I mean, you can just farm so fast with the... I mean, Flat Cannon is good, but it feels like when you have Mask of Madness, Moonglaves, and you have stacks to work with, it's just so much better.
Everything dies.
You can get way more farm for this Luna, and you could see it in the net worth now. The Gyrocopter, of course, having a rough start into the game, but this Luna's starting to get some real free farm. In fact, she's had free farm since the minute that this game started. So Sylar, he's got his, I think, Yasha flying out now with his Mask of Madness already being completed. They are taking the Tier 1 tower on the bottom lane for free, so now it's Drum working on a Dragon Lance. They'll try to trade in the top lane with Armel, and they will. So at the very least, TNC will get a Tier 1 tower out of this in the top lane and get more farm for their Shadow Fiend, which is really the hero they're relying on. He's got the most net worth on this team, and he's going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting, it feels like.
Agreed. He definitely needs to scale into this game, going for a Shadow Blade. All right. Helps him with that split push. You can get away from the Brewlings a bit better. It's a nice choice without feeling like he needs to rush a BKB right away. But it's definitely not a fighting item, right? It's the, he can look for ganks on the side lanes while still farm. Help him get to the next item a bit faster.
I don't think they really want to fight until they get like a Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker, and that's ways away. Or really just any more experience on SamH.
Yep, they definitely need items like the Blink Dagger to come out before they can start taking any fights, which is funny to think. You see Gyrocopter, this man's pretty good at fighting, but he's a whole different hero when you don't peak in that early game where you are stronger than the enemy team at that stage. Very momentum-based.
I like the fact that the Gyrocopter went treads this game, thinking maybe, okay, we just need to farm more. Rolling Boulder bit, they will find Cuckoo. This is a dead Rubik. I mean, he's dead.
Oh yeah, just a freebie.
Yeah, going back to the treads statement, you have late game, he's going to go to Mask of Madness so he can farm kind of quickly in comparison to the Luna.
Well yeah, that's the goal, right? To help accelerate some of that farm. So you can get your way back into the game.
Sylar is taking the enemy Ancients.
Yeah, not afraid at all.
No, I wouldn't be either, given the circumstances of this game. It is a 5K lead for VG.J Thunder, 2-9 is the score. And they are moving bottom, trying to find Armel. This is the last hero that they really want to get brought down so they can continue on taking the waves and pushing it back and getting a tower.
Let's see how he plays this. He's playing this very carefully.
He's in the trees. I don't know that they know that he's here. They roll in. They actually almost spot him. They don't quite see him yet, I don't believe.
Oh
my God, that juke was actually insane.
Wow.
That was
very
huge.
impressive.
Yeah, that was nuts. Armel gets back to the base. He was maybe like a foot away from getting caught. Meanwhile, they'll roll onto Tim to the top lane. The Magnetized Sylar will find himself another kill now. An unstoppable spree. But again, TNC really, that's all they can really rely on is split pushing. Keep the waves pushed out. It feels a lot like last game in that regard.
They're just trying to waste VG.J Thunder's time by making them gank them on the side lanes, and it's supposed to free up the map so they can keep on farming.
They have the blink on the Brewmaster. VG.J Thunder would like to fight. The waves constantly pressured. It's a long uphill battle for TNC to get back into this game, but they might find a good fight here. Sylar's going to walk in, sees Cuckoo. The silence comes in from Fade onto 2. The Lucent Beam is there. They've got the Eclipse, and they will blow up this Rubik. And now they're looking for more. Raven gets repelled. They're trying to find SamH too, but they will get up a Lucent Beam. He's going to get the Purification. They still have the Guardian Angel. He gets off the GA. But the Boulder Smash coming in. Yank is there. He's got the Brew Split available. He gets the Clap off, and Raven now in trouble. The Boulder Toss coming in. The Immolation from the Fire Panda should be enough. SamH taking the Death Ward damage as well. He's about to fall 68 HP. They haven't gotten either of them. They're both so low. Raven about to be able to get out the Boulder Smash. Gets there in time. They will finally get Raven the Boulder Smash there from Fade.
Whew. Boulder Smash coming in slow motion, but it was enough apparently, yep.
It's quite the soccer player, that Earth Spirit.
Luna. One of the things very underrated, the nighttime vision, right? Luna was up on the high ground. They saw that coming, and they managed to turn that 2 versus 3 into that chase where they managed to kill the Gyrocopter as well. Oh, those are the sort of plays, you know, you have to be aggressive, but things can go wrong, right? If you get scouted, if you get caught in that bad position, it's just disastrous. There we go, Shadow Blade.
Yeah, they're Toxins.
Not an easy hero to kill, though.
I mean, yeah, he's got corrosive skin. Even with Requiem, it's not really going to be enough.
Yep, exactly. Large one, too.
1,000 gold for Earthshaker. He's getting closer to the Blink Dagger.
Okay, that's a step in the right direction for them being able to take some of these team fights.
I mean, that's the one big ability. You jump in with a big 3, 4-man Echo Slam, 5-man Echo Slam. The game just changes right there at that point.
Earthshaker is one of those heroes where if he does make it to that blink, the game is never truly over. Right? We've seen so many Earthshaker Echo Slams to come back into games, but all right, 5-man smoke from TNC. No blink daggers available yet, but they're trying to make something happen.
And they're not going to find anybody. Maybe they can get more vision down. They have a ward for Cuckoo. He's going to drop it on the Uber Cliff, but VG.J Thunder have already backed up. They're playing as 3, now 4 as they TP in Brewmaster. Maybe they would. I think they can smoke themselves. I don't think they actually have one, but if they wanted to, they could go for a smoke and a play.
Just playing very defensive, covering each other. The buddy system on.
Yeah, that has been them for the past 2 games now.
Yeah?
They played 5-man all last game. They're doing the same thing here.
Well, look what happens, right? Sylar and Fade were camping the high ground. They managed to find themselves a nice engagement.
This Luna is huge. Sylar's
Friends
level
are 4.
15. Like he's the highest level. He's the highest net worth by like 3,000.
Jesus.
He's got a full Hurricane Pike. He's now working on his BKB, which he has enough money for an Ogre Club. But this is a good play for TNC. They're able to split up and get the tier 2, or at least get some pressure onto the tier 2 in the top lane.
Yeah, a trade for them is a win. It's the best possible outcome for them at the moment.
And they will find that tier 2. It's Raven getting the last auto attack, and he's building into his BKB now too.
BKBs are the big difference maker for TNC, right? A ton of magic damage coming out from VG.J Thunder's lineup, so perhaps that will help them get to that point of the game that allows them to pick up some more damage items.
Roll onto Cuckoo. They've got the stun from the Earth Spirit. Good lift, but now Freeze attacking from the low ground. He's going to try to TP. The clap comes out, though, for Yang. Easy enough kill. The Rubik is just food in this game. If Cuckoo gets caught out, just more kills for VG.J Thunder, but at least he's getting vision and some space for the rest of his team.
Exactly, right. He's keeping these lanes out, helping create some space for his cores, but VG.J walking into the Roche pit. Even without the Luna, they actually take it pretty fast. And this is unexpected when you have your Luna casually pushing out the mid lane.
But TNC know this is happening. Number one, because they have the top lane pushed in and nobody is rotating back.
Yep.
So, but TNC can't do anything about it. By the time they get over there, Roche is going to be dead.
All right, it's far too late.
They can give the Aegis to Freeze, or they're going to give it to Sylar instead, which probably makes more sense.
Yep,
Freeze is
Sylar.
pretty hard to kill at this point.
He is, right? And Sylar is that building hitter. With the glaives bouncing around, it makes him such a good target for the Aegis. And also his item build is, he's built to be ahead, right? With that Hurricane Pike, not going for anything like a BKB. The raw stats from the item help a lot more. And also, you hit this spike where when you have Aegis and Hurricane Pike, it's a lot stronger than the Aegis and BKB.
Yeah, he feels pretty strong now.
Yep, you don't need that defensive tool to stay alive because you already have it in the Aegis.
You have the Hurricane Pike to fall back on as well if you need to.
Yep.
The BKB is coming soon, I think. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. He's going to have another couple 100 gold at this point.
Oh yeah, he's extremely farmed. And look at that, Tim's has his blink.
All right, but they're fighting into Aegis.
Yes.
So
It's also level 1 Echo.
meanwhile, they're going to find Raven. This could be a big kill. They've got the Maledict. He has no BKB yet, and he's just dead. The Nether Toxin melting him down, and Freeze secures yet another kill for VG.J Thunder. Now 14-2, the kill score.
Yep, it's go time. Raven dying there will delay his BKB even further. He's actually still pretty far away from it, a full Mithril Hammer.
Yeah, this is, and you kind of have to farm at that, like, you have to farm up a little bit when you're this far behind for TNC, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's your way back into the game.
Drop a ward behind the tier 2 tower in the mid lane and just siege it. There's really no threat. They do have the blink, they have the Echo Slam, they have Armel with the Shadow Blade that can repel them if need be. They have the Purification. Sylar's bottom, so they could take a fight 4-on-4, but they don't have Raven up for another 8 seconds.
It's still not easy to fight without the Gyro or jump the Viper, who's hitting the tower, right? Extremely tanky, so very nice play from VG.J Thunder, the way they pushed their lanes out and approached this push. It was very efficient. Sylar was still hitting creeps the entire time while they managed to get a kill and pressure the mid tower.
Yeah, he pushes the bottom wave in and gets a little bit of chip damage onto the tier 3, not much, just a sliver of it, but they are able to find themselves a tier 2 tower. There's one tier 2 left for VG.J Thunder to take down. This has been a pretty straightforward game, Brax, from beginning to at this stage of the game, now 21 minutes in. I mean, it's just been running around, fighting, finding farm for Sylar. They've done everything they've needed to do to get themselves this advantage.
Yes, dominant. Very, very dominant. And that all starts with the lane phase mod. We saw the big difference early on, Brewmaster being 5 to the Omni Knights level 3. It just opens up so many more plays for your team to make.
That's where a big part of the net worth advantage is coming from. 9.5K for the Brewmaster, 4.1 for Mage on the Omni Knight. They will look for a potential kill, but Freeze knows something is up. They smoked up together as a team trying to find anybody in the enemy jungle. In the meantime, Sylar's just pushing bottom. He's got the wave. That'll be cleared by Tim with the Fisher. They'll TB back to Brewmaster, but Armel's really the only one here now. Maybe they find the Gyro? Yeah, actually, Raven can just jump right on them if he wants to. The split comes out. Will he get the Hurl Boulder off in time? It's going to be, instead, the Cyclone coming in.
Very
and
nice.
Mage now has to Repel TP. He's already taking a lot of damage. He actually might be able to make it out. Meanwhile, the Boulder Smash comes in and Raven is dead again. He will fall in that top lane. At the very least, though, they force the rest of VG.J Thunder back to this top lane.
Yeah, VG.J Thunder, they're making some very nice plays. Like, they're not rushing this high ground. They know that they're farming at an extremely fast rate compared to TNC, and they can take their time. Luna shows on the map with this Aegis, wipes out the creep waves, casually hits the tower, and they can't jump her, right? And so because of that, VG.J Thunder can go react and kill people on the top side of the map. Like, Luna is basically alone, but they know that there's nothing they can do to her.
Especially with Aegis. Maybe without the Aegis they can do something, but you have a BKB to still fall back on.
Yep. It's also that the risk, right? Even if she doesn't have Aegis, what happens if we jump there and it gets counter-initiated? Then she's going to get her BKB off, Hurricane Pike with the ultimate. The risk-reward is not in your favor.
Right. They are on their back legs for TNC. 15K advantage, although Sylar will take a Fisher. They've got the Boulder Smash, but he's going to force himself away and get to safety. He's still fine.
And look at this. This is even without Yang here. They're not committing to this at all. They're still playing the map, still farming, still getting to the next items. It's very smart.
This feels pretty grim for TNC.
It does, right?
Like, you just...
There's 4 heroes hitting your high ground with someone else off map, somebody looking for a pick off or anything, and they still can't touch it.
Well, at least D-Ward for TNC. I mean, you could really theoretically wait for the next stages, and they might even. I mean, the Aegis that is up now is actually gone within the next 20 seconds.
Yeah. In a lot of games, the first Aegis just helps you take these outer towers and accelerate your farm. Then the second one with the cheese is that high ground opener.
This is just going to keep getting worse and worse for TNC unless they can find a way to get out of their base, which they're doing now with Cuckoo and the heroes in the bottom lane for Armel and Tims, who have smoked up. Looking for any type of initiation with the Blink, Echo, Requiem follow-up, potentially.
Yep. All right, there still is always that Blink Echo that they have to be careful of.
It's level 1.
It is, but that's better than level 0 more.
That's true. And you actually have the Blink Dagger to fall back on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, just look at the difference between how aggressively these teams can play, right? TNC need to hug each other, or else this happens.
yeah, this just... He'll lift, and he might actually be able to keep himself alive with the Boulder Smash coming in. He'll hit him, freeze, getting a couple of auto attacks off, and Cuckoo should take down to the poison attack, and he does. Just food for this Viper.
Yeah, it's grim.
He walks up and he's like, okay, I guess I'm dead now. I got hit by Boulder Smash. What do I do?
Yeah, thanks for the money.
He has Maelstrom, Hurricane Pike, Drum, Treads, now working on a BKB. This is the time of game we take a look at, well, actually, there might be a fight top lane, so hold that thought. They've got Raven again. He has the Repel coming in. The Eclipse is going to try for the TP. Look at the damage, though, from Sylar. He just shreds him. His auto attacks do more than enough to find that kill.
Well, that's the incredible efficiency player there, using the Eclipse to wipe out the creep wave. That's what we like to see.
Give me that farm. His Glaives would have done it just as quickly.
Yeah.
But
Still,
this
doesn't actually matter, right? He's so farmed.
Raven, even with treads, even with all that armor, it's still not enough. Sylar just, he's a full butterfly.
In the time we've seen Raven try to finish his BKB, Sylar's finished like 2 items.
Yeah, BKB butterfly, pretty much.
Yep.
He's dead for 22. He has buyback. That'll put him even further away from the BKB. I don't think need to buyback because he's so low respawn time at this point that it doesn't really matter. Well, maybe. I mean, the glyph comes out. By the time he respawns, maybe they get the tier 3 tower, though.
Well, Mod, if your buyback doesn't actually do anything because when you're alive you can't deal damage, there's no point.
Yeah, there's really just no point.
Yeah.
Armel is Repel. They're going to try to get the tier 3. There's the force forward. He will get stunned up by the Fisher, but at this point, I'm not sure there's really anything they can do. They even split to try to push them back even further behind this set of racks.
Yep.
And it will be the
free.
first set of racks. It is free. It is 100% free for VG.J Thunder. They are moments away from getting into the next round and knocking out TNC here in the Bucharest Major.
Very, very disciplined. They were just backing up right away when they could have maybe saved the split, used it on the mid tower, and gone for it. But of course, with the Gyro respawning, they'd rather play it safe, which is good. Safety first, kids.
Yeah, exactly. When you're this far ahead, you might as well.
That's right.
And they didn't even need the Aegis that time around. They get the kill. They use that respawn time of the Gyrocopter to efficiently get another set of racks out of her, the first set of racks, rather. They have another 28 seconds without Roshan, at the very least. They're going to try to find somebody else. Cuckoo might die again if he's not careful. He's running for his life. Get me out of here. No, you're dead, Cuckoo. You're just dead.
He lived a good life.
He really did. 36 seconds now on the sideline, and it's another push. They have a double damage on Sylar because, you know, he needs more damage for some reason.
Okay.
They finally have the BKB for the Gyrocopter. They will buy back onto the Cuckoo Rubik. Now, I don't know if it's really going to do anything, but Yang, he has another split in 50, so he doesn't actually have that available. Armel getting slowed up by Freeze with plenty of auto attacks. The Repel is up on Armel. Yang pops his own BKB, kind of too far in at this point. They might want to back up. The Fisher hitting onto Sylar, but he's going to get forced away. And they'll just back up. They use the BKB for Yang. That's down. I'm like, okay, let's slow down.
Yep,
Roche is up in another minute and a half.
trying to zone them off the back lines, perhaps break a smoke inside the base like the Earthshaker, trying to find that opening. So, not too bad. They get some free damage in the mid tower. They'll reset and come right back once their cooldowns are up. But now, TNC, perhaps they can find something. But of course, they're on Observer Ward.
They're going to counter it, but yeah, they've been spotted. So VG.J Thunder, they can either run directly at TNC, or they can just back up, farm the map, and try to find Roche. And it looks like they're going to do the former instead. They've drawn a line. They're going to head through the mid lane, down to the bottom lane, and wrap around and try to find TNC. If they kill Armel or any one of these big cores, the game might just be over. Or they could just push, which actually seems to be the case.
They might just run it down, but they see Sam Mage. Can they catch him?
Omni Knight jumped on. They've got the silence available. Oh my god. Sylar is godlike. Dead for 35. The Omni Knight has the buyback. They're looking for Armel. There's the split. There's no Repel to fall back on, but he's got the BKB. He will use it. Now he's trying to find DDC. The tier 3 tower is gone, and Sylar is going to work with his glaives, as one would assume on a Luna. The Requiem comes up on Armel, taking the glaives damage. He actually needs to be careful. The Rax is already gone at this point. There is really nothing TNC can do, and VG.J Thunder will just back up together as a team, happy with what they've accomplished. And maybe they could even keep going. Sylar pops the BKB. They were looking for Raven, trying to force his out, but they won't be able to do so. But mission accomplished. They'll back up together as a team. Roche is up in 16 seconds. VG.J Thunder are so close they could taste the Brax.
It just shows you how safe they're playing this game, right? Sylar sees a Shaker outside of his base, BKBs instantly. Does not want to give them that opening to go on him, but all right, smoke up, but they saw it again on another ward.
Yeah, the ward inside the base. VG.J Thunder will stay together, get ready for the next fight. They don't have Bruce Split, but they have just about everything else available.
Yep, they're just going to camp the high ground here.
Dire Scan will connect. They know exactly when they're coming in. Yang's on the low ground. He needs to be a little bit careful, but he does have the BKB available. The Tier 1 tower might be the choice instead for TNC. That's probably a safer choice, but VG.J Thunder are still here. They have a ward drop down, so they will spot VG.J Thunder moving as a team. They'll de-ward it instantly. They'll get the Tier 1. No, the glyph comes out. They can't even get that. Yang's coming in, and this tower looks to be denied. Now the Fisher coming in. This is a good Echo Slam. On to 2, they'll find one. Yang's dead. They pop the BKB for Freeze. He buys back. He wants to be in this fight. Freeze getting low. He might fall. He needs to be careful. He gets auto attack down. Dead for 60 seconds. The Death Ward coming in onto Cuckoo. All right. They'll find something, but they have to TP back to the base now.
How on earth did they make that happen?
I could tell you.
That was extremely well played from TNC. Tim's, no hesitation, all sees 2 heroes, drops out the chain, disables, and that's with the buyback on the Brewmaster too. You know, this is step 1, but they need many more steps to
They need like
to make it
step
happen.
50 in order to get back into this game, it feels like.
They need step Rapier. And they've got an Omni Knight, so they can repel the Gyro, so we can dish out the damage. And, all right, looks like Sylar going for the Rapier, actually.
He just wants to finish this game.
He does.
Yeah, they can't actually kill him, I don't think. If
No,
they were Bruce
not at all.
Split, they literally can't do anything.
Yep, and it's not just him, too, right? Everyone on VG.J Thunder is so farmed.
And what are you going to do against this Luna now? Sylar has had a free game. I will call it free because he had free farm in the top lane. He's got free kills all across the board, free tower pushing, free everything, essentially. And they will try to find Roche. Roche is up. I'm sure they can do it extraordinarily quickly. Echo Slam is still down for another 53 seconds. GA is down for 100 seconds for Sam H. But they've got to try something, giving an Aegis and Cheese away. But here we go, the fight coming in. They get the break off onto Earth Spirit, but Armel getting super low. He has to back up. They bring him down. Sylar doing too much damage. The double kill, the triple kill. It's 3 dead. No buyback on the Gyrocopter. VG.J Thunder about to finish this one off. They will push into the bottom lane, get the Mega Creeps. They don't really need to wait for anything else. They could try to go for Roche first.
They're making a U-turn, Mod. It's Roche time. Buybacks have come out. We're killing the boss.
Get back into the Roche pit. Get the Aegis. Get the cheese. Take it slow.
They don't want to approach the throw zone. They are going to make sure they
He has a rapier. Give him the Aegis first.
Yep, exactly, all right? Make it as easy as possible.
A no throw zone indeed. Hurricane Pike done. His Mask of Madness put in his backpack, probably for good reason to put Mask of Madness in your backpack, I would say. You have so many items and Aegis to work with. You can just go tier 4s if you want if you're Sylar.
Yeah, the glaives will bounce everywhere.
Watch these glaives just destroy these buildings. The glyph
can't
has
even
to
get
come
close.
out. Yang is going to split in.
He's just zoning.
Yeah, he's just going to push them back. Glyph is about to be done. Watch these buildings melt to Sylar. Force forward looking for Tims. Tims has the Echo Slam available. The Requiem will go first. They're trying to find anything. The Ancient they've got the Echo Slam. That's under one. That's Sylar, but he's got the Aegis. The lift comes out. He's still fine, though. And he's going to destroy these heroes. They're dead, 2 of them. 3 about to fall. This Rubik getting back into the base. Armel getting up to the high ground. The Ancient exposed. The tier 4 is gone. Triple kill for Sylar. They're fountain diving. An ultra kill. And that will do it. VG.J Thunder, they will move on. TNC will be eliminated.
Wow, what a series. This was, you know, it didn't look one-sided, but it was one-sided for both teams.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's just how close it comes down to their, you know, early game, their draft, how they played. It was a good series.
Good first game from TNC. They looked dominant. They had a great draft. VG.J Thunder maybe trying something out in that first game, but
unfortunately, it's not how you begin. It's how you finish.
Exactly. You need that 2-0 victory, that 2-1 victory. It didn't happen for TNC. They played well, an extraordinarily good tournament. They had some great games. They got through to the playoffs. VG.J Thunder looked like they were on another level in that third game, Greg.
Yep, congratulations. They look extremely strong.
Yeah. Teams will shake hands and we'll get through. There's not really much to talk about with that third game, though, Brex. I think we said it all during the game.
Yeah, they're just in control the entire game. They played it extremely conservatively in terms of, you know, their movements. They don't want to throw. This is the deciding game.
Yeah. So we will send it back to the boys to get their thoughts on this third game. Let's send it over to Paul, Cap, and Jack.
Thanks very much, boys. Yes, congrats to VG.J showing some of the power that they had in the group stages. Finally, it took them 3 games to get warmed up, didn't it? But my goodness, did they not deliver a fantastic performance in game number 3. The boys already said, really, in the commentary box, exactly what went down. I'm not really sure what our panel members are going to make of that.
I could not have been more wrong.
It's good to admit it, Cap. It's good to get it out of the way on day 1 here in the arena.
Once we were like 8 minutes in is when I realized how wrong I was, because the first, I would say the first 6 minutes, you saw VG.J try really hard to gank Armel, and it just wasn't happening. Armel was actually playing pretty well around it. Half the time he didn't even need Tims there to be able to counter-initiate against the Earth Spirit Viper. He was just dodging roll-ins. He was just doing it, right? And I was like, they even brought a Brewmaster around at one point in time, still managed to scout him out. He didn't get a successful gank on the mid. I was like, this is a bunch of wasted time. Like, they are throwing multiple heroes at this mid lane, and then I look at the net worth, and I see that, you know, this Gyrocopter, he doesn't actually have a whole lot because Brewmaster is constantly making him miss CS, and then you also have the whole entire lineup that just counters Gyrocopter in general. It's why, you know, the first 1-2 pickup of this on the night Gyrocopter left them completely exposed to be counterpicked. So it left the game entirely on Armel. So VG.J Thunder were not actually punished at all for all their efforts in just constantly going mid and constantly trying to gank the SF, because eventually they did manage to kill him a couple times. They brought Brewmaster once he picked up level 6, dove him far behind the tier 1 tower all the way into the shrine, but he got the one kill that matters, which was the SF, because that was the only hero that was going to be able to have impact in this game. Gyrocopter naturally just wasn't going to be able to do a whole lot against these 3 different cores.
Tough game for TNC. They got away from what seemed to be their comfort zone, their comfort kind of play style with these picks. And there's just too many counters. Like you mentioned, counter in lane, Luna +1 or even Luna alone at some point is okay for Omni Knight if you secure her a good start. You have the Brewmaster, which counters the Omni as well with the spell, and then provides a difficult lane matchup for a lot of heroes to deal with. There's too many counters, and they never really got to play Dota this game, so to speak, and they don't have any options to come back from that either. Again, the Omni Knight is not an initiator. The Earthshaker, if you don't have a good start, is also not great at starting fights or setting tempo. You don't have that Blink Dagger up. You're not really a lane bully either. Same with Rubik and with their cores as well. The Shadow Fiend choosing to go with the physical build and the BKB. There's no way to play your way back into this game. How do you even take good fights short of kind of split pushing, which they desperately tried to do to buy some time?
Time and time again, Brewmaster was able to get his ultimate off completely unimpeded. There was no real threat, because oftentimes he was actually popping it and then running in with the ultimate rather than risking a blink in and then a potential telekinesis into, you know, a Fisher stun from the Earthshaker and potentially getting stunned before he can get it off. So he just plays it safe, always makes sure he gets it off in a team fight, runs his minions in, and at that point in time, like, you've kind of already won, because Omni Knight's going to not be able to do a whole lot with the Storm Panda mana, always being able to throw out and deal with the Omni-Knight ultimate. And then Gyro Copter's trying to deal damage into like a Luna that doesn't really feel good, especially it's an early BKB core. Viper's naturally very tanky against this magic damage that Raven's trying to put in. And again, the Brewmaster, you can't really do anything against him either. So when all this space is created for Raven, but he's not actually ahead of Luna because of the miss percentage chance, and he's not getting the same CS Luna is, and then your SF is shut down, then 2 of your cores can't really give you the damage needed.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the scoreboard and round things out for you in game number 3, which confirms VG.J Thunder as moving on to the semi-finals of a major. Remember, no Chinese team has yet won a major. Are they going to be the first? They've already taken a very big step towards that. And Jack, also, it's worth pointing out that even if they don't do anything else in this tournament and they lose in the semi-finals, they'll go home with an extra 450 points on the scoreboard from the top 3 players picking that up. That would put them in 12th right now, just ahead of TNC. That's a much better position than 17th with 45 points.
Yeah, it's something. Puts you in striking distance, again, with so many big tournaments coming up, too.
Yeah. Good stuff. The MVP for this one is Sylar again. Agree,
Okay.
disagree?
I would say it was a bit of a draft win, but I think Sylar definitely played very well. I think he did a great job in game 2, great job in game 3. So it definitely seems like Sylar has picked up his play and isn't really needing the flame from the Chinese community for being a werewolf player.
I want to give Fade a lot of credit this game because they have a similar weakness to TNC in their draft. They don't have that much reach or catch, and so the Earth Spirit play had to be on point, both with the rotation ganks, and you saw how many times he caught someone TPing away.
Yeah.
He has to play that role this game, and so he has to avoid dying, he has to have a good start, he has to constantly be in position and read the rotations very well, and I think he did a great job of that this game, and there's a reason that this hero is often banned against him, which is his most played hero by far. He is another great Earth Spirit player.
Especially since he had kind of an awkward start. It's easy to get a little tilted when you miss the first, like, I think 5 rolls that he attempted on the mid lane. Even the first time they actually killed the SF, he still missed the roll. He just ended up right next to the SF as a result. It's easy to get tilted on any one of those heroes that has a little bit of a skill shot and just feel off about the game. But he recovered super well the moment they went past the laning phase and was just nailing everything.
He certainly did. And speaking of the man, Fade is with Sir Action Selects right now. Let's get his words from the match.
Hey everybody, I'm here with Fade. Hello. Ooh, you were so excited, man. Usually I don't ask this question. I try to avoid it. But tell me how you're feeling. I saw you walk off that stage, jumping around, yelling and screaming.
费德你好，现在我的话，我看到你非常紧张嘛，激动应该是激动。然后的话，刚才一般我不问这个选手这个问题，但是刚才你在后台的话是跳到队友身上嘛，所以能不能分享一下现在的情绪？
因为这是我们第一次拿那个叫官方积分是吧？然后。所以比较激动嘛，因为这是我们去 TI 的第一步，是这样。
Yeah, I feel so excited because it's we got the TI points now, so this is the first time we're going to the international this year. That's why I'm so excited.
Well, I could tell, man. What a performance, though. Game 1, a little rough. You mind telling us what happened in that one?
第一场比赛的话稍微有点困第一场比赛赢得比较没这么简单嘛，能不能告诉我们家发生了什么事情，在第一场里面？
第一场不是输了吗？
对，比较困难，对。
是说，因为我们第一场其实那阵容还可以，只是我们第一场选完那阵容之后，那个分路想太少了，我们的分路打得并不好，然后我们家也打不过他们，所以我们就输那比赛了。
Yeah, so what happened is our draft is alright, but I feel like we messed up with the landing stage, so we're falling behind too much and we couldn't catch up. That's why we lost.
All right, now I think that was the first Luna that we saw throughout the whole event, and you nailed it. You destroyed. How did you know that would be a good Luna game? And can you give me some Luna tips?
第一场最后一场比赛你们拿出Luna这个英雄嘛，然后Luna的话也是在这次 Major 的话第一次登场，然后你们打得也非常棒，能不能给我们这些理由为什么选这个英雄，然后有没有什么好的建议关于这个英雄的话？
主要是我们之前一直就觉得Luna这英雄还可以吧，然后只是因为之前没有特别好的时机去使用它吧。建议就是这是一个比较强力的后期核吧，就你往后期跟对面刷你也不会虚。
对。We think that hero is Luna is really good by herself, but we didn't really have a good chance to put her out. So this game we feel comfortable, so we just pick her, and we think she's really strong late game. Doesn't even afraid of like split push or anything else. Yeah.
Most important part of playing Luna?
就是打Luna的话最重要的是什么？
Farm.
Farm.
Farm, yeah, it always is, isn't it? All right, well, next up, we got Newbie versus Secret. How do you think Newbie's going to do in that game? You think they're out? Is it over for them?
下一场比赛的话，Newbie 打 Secret， 你觉得 Newbie 的话是不是有点危险，或者说 Newbie 可能占了上风？
牛逼，我比较希望牛逼回家吧，不想打他们。
I wanted them to go home. I don't want to play against them.
Well, hopefully they will, but if not, I'm sure you'll do just fine. All right, thanks a lot for coming out, and we're going to see the next match very soon here at the Bucharest Major.
Yes, we are indeed. Thank you very much to Action Slacks and Fade, and also our interpreter as well down there. Anything you got out of that? Any tips on playing Luna there, Cap, for you? You good now?
Farm.
Farm.
That's a classic Luna strat right there.
Yeah, it doesn't need interpreting either.
No, it certainly doesn't.
It's the same in every language.
It certainly is. Everyone knows the dollar bill, man. Everyone knows. So I thought it was most interesting that they didn't want to play against Newbie.
Yeah. Well, it's that inter-China rivalry. They play each other so much, right?
Yeah. I still, I would have expected them to be in a position, especially before this tournament started and the best of ones and everything else. We kind of felt like most of the season, the Team Secret was one of the teams to beat. But they still fear Newbie more. And
but
maybe
they also beat Secret in the group stage, so maybe that's giving them a little bit of...
Yeah, they feel good about that best of ones, so they just want to keep it going.
Not wanting to play Newbie makes a lot of sense. I mean, Newbie has just dominated the domestic scene in China for most of the past year and a half, and so they usually beat the other Chinese teams, and yeah, I'm sure they like their chances against someone else.
Aren't they considered the most Western of Chinese teams in China? Newbie. Is that still the case? Are they still looked at as the odd ones out?
I'm not sure. I think they're a bit more formulaic. They're very classic Chinese team in a lot of ways.
All right. Okay. All right. We're going to get some more thoughts from our panel members after the break, which is where we're heading to. Now, don't go too far away, though. Go and get your snacks and all the rest of it. But be back soon, because Newbie versus Secret is our second quarter-final. Right now, though, we're headed to a commercial break where you can purchase a special